Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of HTF Bets, your live Thursday show here at Hitting the Field Network. Have a packed show for you today. We're going all around the sports world. We got some playoff football. We have some professional and college basketball. We even have a World Cup qualifying match. We're going to break down all those spreads, all those lines, giving you our betting advice. Stick with us because HTF Bets starts now. Gentlemen, it's Thursday afternoon. We are back here in the studio. As always, I'm your host, Tyler Karen. Joining me, we're starting on my left side. I start with Johan too much. I'm starting to not like Johan this season. We're starting to fight behind the scenes. So, got Riley Shepard. We got Johan Blanco. Also joining us today, a special guest, Doug Smethurst. He's going to be our expert here, going to break down one of the games on Sunday for NFL playoffs. We got the Rams versus the 49ers. The Rams are hosting. Niners, a little bit of an upset team going through this postseason. They come into this game as an upset. Rams favored by 3.5 with the over-under set at 46.5. Doug, welcome to HTF Bets. This is your debut, so we're going to put the pressure right on you. What is your prediction for this 49ers versus Rams matchup?
Well, first and foremost, thank you guys for having me. I can't wait to discuss all the betting lines with you over this week. But for this specific game, the Rams versus Niners is my game of the week, as I love the spread at Rams minus 3.5. Take that. That is absolutely free money, and maybe sprinkle a little bit on the under. Now, I understand the Niners have won the first 2 games in the regular season with a blowout and then needed overtime in the last game. Beating a team 3 times in one season is way too hard in the NFL. The last time that happened was in 2009 with the Cowboys beating the Eagles 3 times. This is not going to happen this year. The Rams are going to go on to the Super Bowl, straight up win and straight out cover. The Rams haven't given up over 65 yards of rushing in either playoff game yet.
But I think it's going to happen in this game with Elijah Mitchell. We've seen him running the ball in the playoffs so far. He's been very efficient. I think he's totaled at least 90 yards in both games. And you're right. It's very difficult to beat a team 3 times in the same season. How about the Niners have swept their matchups with the Rams the last 3 seasons, 6-0 in the last 3 seasons. So they've not only beat them 3 times, they beat them 6 times over the last 2 seasons.
And how about this? Deebo Samuel has never lost to the Rams in his entire career. Like you mentioned, 6-0. Deebo Samuel has been a part of those wins, all 6 of those wins, and the last 3 he has absolutely dominated, having over 100 all-purpose yards, 3 consecutive games against the Rams. That's impressive nonetheless. If anybody can slow this Rams team down, it's the 49ers. They proved it last week. And they're going, that spread seems low, or the over-under seems low at 46, but if anyone can do it, it's this 49ers team.
Right. And Doug, I'm big on the Niners here because their offensive line have been really efficient and effective versus Aaron Donald and Von Miller, and they've mastered their offense to keep the ball away from challenging their receivers on Jalen Ramsey. So I think that the offensive line is a big key. They protect Garoppolo. They open up the lanes for Mitchell to run through. And I think that the Niners come out with the victory here.
I mean, absolutely, but Jimmy Garoppolo is, at the end of the day, not a very good quarterback. He can't keep getting away with winning these close games while making mistakes. They're eventually going to bite him in the butt, and it's going to cost him a game. Now, Rams have also scored 30-plus points in both playoff games so far. Their offense is on fire right now. Stafford has 6 touchdowns, 6 total touchdowns, and no turnovers throughout these playoffs. Rams are on fire right now. They would have blown out the Bucs if it wasn't for 3 fumbles in the second half, all leading the Bucs to starting in offensive territory. They would have blown out the Bucs.
Well, I think here, 49ers, my bet is to hit the under. They've been under in 6 of their last 7, with some of those being playoff games. I have the 49ers, but if you're going to take a bet, I think you take the under. We're going to move on now to our next subject. We have NBA basketball. We have the Nuggets traveling to Milwaukee Sunday night at 7 o'clock to take on the Bucks. Riley, of course, you've been our pretty consistent NBA guy for Game of the Week. Tell us about the matchup.
Look, this is arguably the top 2 players in the NBA right now. Nikola Jokic is my MVP favorite. I don't know how he could top his last season MVP run, but he's improved on the defensive side of the ball. He's proven to be a consistent defender, and it might not show on the stat sheet, but he's contesting shots. He's making it difficult on the interior. Now, Nikola Jokic, when he's off the floor, the Nuggets are terrible. They're god-awful. But when he's on the floor, they hold the highest net per 100 possessions in the NBA, even beating the Warriors. Look, without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., the Nuggets have found their way into the 6th seed. And look, if Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. make a comeback towards the end of the season, Jamal Murray isn't expected to come back until April. But even if they get him for the end of the season, they're going to be a legitimate team to beat in the playoffs. They've made their way to the 6th seed, but look, the Bucks, they've been struggling as of late, only 5-5 in their last 10, but they're only 2 games out from the 1st seed in the East.
Exactly.
Right.
And the East has been it's been a slap show this year out in the East. And yeah, the Bucks, the fact that how inconsistent I think they played, I think that adds to the impact that Giannis Antetokounmpo has, and we saw it last season, and with him leading this Bucks team.
The real question is Grayson Allen going to get another flagrant foul?
That's Grayson Allen. He's historically known as a bad player, or as a dirty player. Some agree, some disagree. But going back to his days at Duke, I don't know what the exact flagrant count is. I'd put here's a bet I'd take. Grayson Allen probably has the most flagrant or technical fouls out of any college and NBA player in his time.
I would not disagree with that. Like that play the other night was, I mean, we saw how much that's going to impact the Bulls down the line with Caruso being out with that broken wrist. But look, the East is wide open right now. The Bucks sit at the 5th seed, but they're 2 games out from the Bulls. Like, this is going to be a great matchup Sunday night, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, Doug, close us out on this game really quick. Which MVP takes over in this game? Is it going to be Jokic and the Nuggets or the home team with Giannis and the Bucks?
I think it's going to be Giannis and the Bucks. He's going to have more of a supporting cast with him to help him out, take some of that pressure off of him, and just ultimately have just a better game because of the help he has.
There aren't any official lines out for the game yet, but you have our advice. When the line does come out, watch this back, take our advice. You can see who you trust more and go with them. We're moving on now. We have the World Cup qualifying match. We have USA taking on Canada this Sunday at 3:05. It is hosted in Canada.
Yes.
We are at a limited capacity stadium due to the Canadian COVID-19 guidelines, but it's going to be 12,000 fans. Those tickets sold out within an hour.
Yes, I mean, it's the top 2 teams in the CONCACAF standings right now. I mean, Canada has been playing amazing soccer as of late. I mean, they move the ball well. They have good players like Jonathan David and Atita Hudson still on their team, but they will be without their best player, and that's Alphonso Davies. He's still out due to recovering from COVID-19, and he's their best playmaker. He's the one who spreads the ball throughout the field. He can play back on defense. He can play in the midfield as a winger, or he can play up as a striker. He can play everything on the field, and it's going to be very detrimental to them that he's going to be out. But let's talk about the USA, man. The USA has been on form these last couple qualifying matches. I mean, they just in their last one, they beat Jamaica, and we've seen the resurgence of some new bloods, guys like Ricardo Pepe stepping up, Brandon Arison. These guys that are going to Europe, they're stepping up for the U.S. men's national team, and the future looks so bright for this nation.
This is a young team.
This is a very young team. I mean, they have 17 players on this U.S. men's national team that are under 24 years old. The future is very bright. And I wanted to touch more on that Alphonso Davies being out. Yeah. How is this going to impact the Canadian national team? Because we see these are the top 2 teams in the North American right now.
So one thing about the Canadian national team, no matter with Davies on or off the floor, is that they move the ball really well. They have really good one-touch. They move the ball really fast. And for the USA, who's typically a slow starting team, that's very bad for them. So the U.S. has to start off strong. They have to, pretty much stand still the attack from Canada. And then they also have to, capitalize on what they're best at, and that's set pieces. They're really good with set pieces. They're really good with, hitting the corners and stuff. And I really think it's going to be a very close game.
I think that we're all a little biased here. We're rooting for USA in this game.
USA, baby. What are you talking about? USA, baby.
He's got it. So Johan's going for USA. But yeah, Canada, definitely a worthy opponent. That game Sunday. Be sure to check it out. Now, my time. My time is here. College basketball. You know that I had to bring college basketball for Game of the Week. We have the Big 12 versus SEC Challenge going on this weekend. A lot of good games mixed in there. The best, I would say, most people won't disagree with it, it's number 12 Kentucky taking on number 5 Kansas. This game is Saturday at 6 p.m. This is the first time these two teams have met since December 2020 when they met in the Championship Classic in Madison Square Garden. Kansas, they got the better of Kentucky in that game, 65-62. I think a big storyline of this game is, will Ty Washington return for the Wildcats? He rolled his ankle last Saturday against Auburn. We didn't see him play in Kentucky's last game versus Mississippi State. I think that was a good test, though. That's where you saw a lot of the other players for Kentucky step up. That's where Oscar Tshiebwe, he went off in that game, had another 2020. Tshiebwe is, I'm going to say it right here, one of the best college basketball talents that we have seen in college basketball, period. He is the first player since 1950-1951 to have 5 20-rebound games in a single season.
Yeah, I mean, and how about this as well? I mean, he's the first player in UK history to drop a 2020 since 1976, I believe. And you touched on Ty Washington, and Kentucky is one of my favorites to make a deep run come March. How about Kellen Grady? Dropped 8 of their 10 points in overtime in that win against Mississippi State without Ty Washington. Tshiebwe is another one. But look, Kansas is a great team as well. I mean, Ochai Agbaji, he's been dominant the last few games.
That's one of the leading candidates for national players.
Absolutely.
Of the year right there.
We also have to talk about the play of Christian Braun. He's been proven to be a really good slasher for them. I mean, this is an experienced Kansas team.
Absolutely.
And we talk about Oscar Tshiebwe and him having one of the best seasons in college basketball history. Well, Kansas might have the rebounding advantage. I mean, they have Jalen Wilson and David McCormack, who are also double-double machines. So 2-1, I mean, I would go with the 2.
No, see, that's where you're wrong, Johan. Kansas is absolutely. I think I kind of thought about it a lot here. I think I'm trying to lean towards more towards Kansas. They're at home. Wildcats are shorthanded. We're not sure if we're going to get Ty Washington. They really struggled. Versus Mississippi State is a solid team in the SEC. They really struggled there. So I think Kansas is going to win this game. However, the bet to take is the over in this game. It's not officially out yet. It's going to be fairly high due to this. So Kentucky, they average 82 points per game. That's 9th in the country. Their opponents, 64 points per game, which is 63rd in college basketball. So they're not a great defensive team, not a terrible defensive team. Kansas, 81.5 points per game. That's 13th in the country, and 68 opponents' points per game, which is 153rd in the country. Both teams are 3-1 on the on the over in their last 4 games. Take that over, whatever the line is. That is the lock for this week. That's all the time that we have for segment 1 here. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We're going to dive into the NFL playoffs a little bit more. Stay with us.
Why? Because I am a New York Giants fan, and I want my first pick of the week to be my team. I see an upset for the New York Giants this Sunday. Bet your entire savings, and I'm telling you right now, they're gonna win. I don't care what you say. It's gonna happen.
I have to go with the Raiders, I think, for this one. I don't see them losing.
Welcome back. It is now time for our primetime picks of the week, the best segment. I'm currently doing awful, standing at 16-10, Oklahoma State and Texas. I'm going Texas 35-27.
All right, Jeff, don't tell me your winner, but who is going to the Super Bowl?
The New England Patriots
Oh my gosh. Oh my
God.
gosh.
and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
God.
The
Oh
NFL is gonna the NFL is gonna make it happen.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be focusing on the NFL playoffs here. We have reached the conference championship weekend. Last weekend, one of the best playoff weekends of NFL football that I can remember. And it ended off perfectly with that Chiefs and Bills matchup. The Chiefs to tie the game to send into overtime with the 13 seconds left that was left on the clock. Unbelievable. And it was UCF's own Gabe Davis who had 4 touchdowns in that game. Unfortunately, the Bills, they didn't come out victorious versus the Chiefs. So we're going to focus on our final 4. In the AFC, we have the Chiefs and the Bengals, who I predicted. Just keep that in mind. And then on the NFC, we have the Rams and the 49ers, another upset team. So we're going to focus here on how I see the bracket finishing out here throughout the rest of the playoffs. We're going to start with the AFC game. Bengals going to Kansas City to play at Arrowhead. Chiefs are favored by 7 points. Over-under set at 54.5. This is where Joe Burrow has said it earlier this week that playing in any SEC stadium is louder than playing at Arrowhead, in his opinion. And there was video leaked of the Cincinnati's practice facility with the noisemakers that they had while they're practicing. The Bengals are going to be ready for that noise. This, spread-wise, is a scary game to pick. Both teams 6-0 against the Chiefs 6-0 in their last 6 at home against the spread, whereas the Bengals are 6-0 against the spread, period, in their last 6. The Chiefs, they hit on the over in 7 straight games. However, I do have the Bengals coming out with the upset over Kansas City. I would also take that over there in that game. It's going to be a shootout. I'm guessing my prediction for that game is probably going to be about 37-30 or 34-31, somewhere in that range. Moving on to the NFC, I got San Fran advancing over the Rams. We talked a lot about it a little bit in segment 1. I'm rolling with Jimmy G here. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I like the ability from San Fran's. I think their defense is strong enough to limit the Rams, hold them to only maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns a game, and they come out victorious versus the Rams. And then I have Joe Burrow coming away with my Super Bowl MVP. Doug, do you agree with my predictions, or do you have some of your own?
I'm completely different than you.
Well, good.
On the AFC
like
side, I got
like
the Chiefs winning, obviously. I think just Joe Burrow in his second year, still his first playoffs. He can say all that, but until you're in Arrowhead in playoffs, you don't know what it's going to be like. It gets crazy in that stadium. Give me the Chiefs. They're going to hang on.
He has played in a national championship game.
But that's a neutral stadium. That was a neutral stadium.
Right, I agree. I get what you're saying there. But just the level of noise that's in that stadium, and plus all the SEC experience that he has, I think that's where the noise, Joe Burrow is going to be acclimated to it in only his second year in the NFL.
I mean, that very might well be true. He may come in more prepared than other quarterbacks when it comes to crowd noise. It might not affect him as much. But I'm still going to roll with the Chiefs in Arrowhead. They just put up 42 points on a pretty good defense. I also see a shootout. Like game 1 was 31-38 Bengals in Cincinnati. I think it's going to be another shootout with the Chiefs winning. And on the other side, NFC, we obviously know I got the Rams winning this. So I'm going to have a Chiefs-Rams Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford winning MVP.
Yeah, the
Yes,
Rams.
I got the Rams
taking
winning the
Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Wow.
Johan,
Rams winning the Super Bowl.
I need to
yeah.
see your playoff bracket now.
Well, we're pretty similar except for one result. But so for the Bengals and Chiefs, I have the Chiefs. So listen, Cincinnati can't outplay Kansas City on the offensive end. So if they have a chance, to make the Super Bowl and beat Cincinnati at Arrowhead, They have to step it up on the defensive end. And, I mean, watch out for Logan Wilson in this matchup. Because, I mean, against Tennessee, he was a beast. I mean, didn't he have like 6 tackles? Didn't he have an interception?
I think he did have one of the interceptions.
Yes, and they've forced 4 interceptions in the past 2 playoff games they've played in. So that's the only thing. But I still can't see them beating the Chiefs. I mean, their offense is just too overpowering. I mean, they're clicking on all cylinders, and they're at Arrowhead. And I do think that is going to play an advantage for them. As for 49ers and Rams, I have the Rams as well, because why would I choose the 49ers? Jimmy Garoppolo sucks. He hasn't thrown a touchdown. He's the only quarterback left that hasn't thrown a touchdown, and he has the most interceptions out of all the quarterbacks. You can't have both. You can't have both.
That's fine. He made it to the made it to the conference championship game with both.
Dude, you can't be throwing under 4,000 yards when there's 17 games. No, but that's beyond the point.
But it can beat the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
No, that wasn't him though. That wasn't him. That was their running game, and that was their defense.
Okay.
Not Jimmy G.
It's a team effort.
You said you're relying on Jimmy G. I wouldn't do that. He sucks.
If you can limit Green Bay to 10 points, you can limit the Rams.
He did not limit Green Bay. His defense did. And I'm telling you right now, they're playing in Los Angeles. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't even care because Aaron Rodgers, choke job. Don't care. Always been a choke job. I don't think that's going to happen.
You're taking Aaron Rodgers,
right,
who has been to the playoffs before.
Final Super Bowl predictions, and I want to hear your Super Bowl MVP.
All right, so my Super Bowl predictions is the Chiefs are gonna beat the Rams, and I think it's gonna be 42-28. I think it's gonna be a very high-scoring game. Yes, I do, and it's gonna be MVP Patrick Mahomes, obviously.
Okay. I do agree with your Super Bowl winner. I mean, I have the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, 49ers advancing. So I'm a little bit of both of you. Took both of your picks there, but I disagree with your Super Bowl MVP. It's not going to be Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be a different Mahomes, and that's going to be Jackson. Jackson Mahomes will win Super Bowl MVP.
I can't believe this.
He's going to play a bigger factor than anybody at Arrowhead. It's not going to be the crowd playing a role. It's going to be Jackson Mahomes dumping water on all the Bengals fans there. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, Jackson Mahomes, dynamic duo.
Jackson Mahomes.
I need to call up the Hitting the Field network executives. We need to rework my contract. I don't make enough money for this right here. I don't make any money. I don't make anything.
The TikTok super.
I can't do this for free. I can't. Doug.
Jackson Mahomes.
Doug, give me something, anything to help me out here. I need it away from Riley.
I mean, Jackson Mahomes, man, he's a character, dude.
All 1 million of Jackson Mahomes.
I don't like him at all.
TikTok followers are going to fill Arrowhead on Sunday.
I don't like him.
Okay. I think we've gotten enough of the Jackson Mahomes talk. Back to the football here. I just want to remind everyone, since I'm the only one with the Bengals to win it all, correct? Yes?
Yeah.
Only
I
one?
hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
A couple weeks ago, last week on the show, when the Bengals were +8, I got them at plus 1,400 was I ended up getting them at to win the Super Bowl. As soon as they win this week and the Joe Burrow Super Bowl MVP lines come out, I'm taking that as well. And I'm going to be cashing out here on this Super Bowl. I'm completely for Cincinnati. So, bet your life savings on it. As Johan Blanco would say, I'm stealing it.
He's going broke.
It's going to happen. I don't care what you say.
It's going
to happen. Yeah, I'll pull the full Johan. But that's all the time that we have. We're going to take a quick commercial break before going into segment 3. But stay with us. We have an entire segment of the Surefire Bets of the Week. So stay with us.
Welcome to the HTF Hot Wings Challenge. Do any of you guys actually do hot sauce like regularly?
No. It's like the least black thing I do.
Oh, wow, okay.
I say Johnny goes first on this one.
I agree.
The Buccaneers are going to play the Washington football team.
That can't happen.
It will happen.
I'm terrified.
No, I really hate it.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. No. You're wrong. If it wasn't for Kanye jumping up on stage and doing the I'm gonna let you finish, but no one would know what this was.
Nitro's dump truck. And if you don't know what I'm talking about,
Why is Nacho thick?
I don't know how many squats I need to do to get up like something like that, but I will do it.
Oh! Oh my God!
Baseball, obvious reasons. Babe Ruth, if you want to go currently. I feel like that's just like a thing.
He jumped off the wall to catch the home run. We made it through all the way to the end. Thank you for joining us.
I'm never doing this again.
It was rough.
This season, not so much. I'm 0 for 2. Riley, 2-0. Johan, 1-0-1. So we're actually going to throw it to Doug first. We treat our guests well here on HTF Bets. Doug, what is your first surefire bet of the week?
Well, I'm going to start undefeated on my surefire picks. We're going with the Florida Panthers on Saturday night, January 29th. There's no lines yet, as the lines don't open up the day of the game. It should open up around -180 to -200. Whatever it is, take it and hammer it. They're going to win. They're playing against the San Jose Sharks, who is not a good franchise. Panthers are going to dominate. They're like the best team in hockey right now. Put money on them.
I like a little bit of hockey.
I like it. We're being diverse up
Johan,
in here.
let's get more diverse. Give us your bet of the week.
USA versus El Salvador tonight. USA is going to win, but listen, that's not my surefire. The surefire is that it is the line is at 2.5 total goals scored. I'm taking the under on that. I think it's going to be 2 goals for the US. It's going to be a dub, but I'm going to take the under on the 2.5.
So you're going 2-0 USA.
2-0 USA. We're going to be on top of the standings by the end of this weekend.
All right, I like it. Riley, surefire bet. Looks to stay perfect.
Let's stay perfect. 2-0 on the season. Let's make it 3-0. We have some Mountain West basketball tomorrow night. Boise State is going to travel to Fresno State. They beat them a few weeks ago, 65-55. They've won 13 straight games. That's very hard to do in college basketball. They're 7-0 in conference play. There's no official lines out, but I'm going to take Boise State money line, and they're going to snap Fresno State's undefeated home record.
I like that you went money line because Boise against the spread 11-8 this season, whereas Fresno State 12-5-1. They ranked 15 in the country in highest percentage against the spread. I like that you went money line. I do think Boise State is going to be the underdog in this, with Fresno being at home.
They're undefeated at home.
And they're undefeated at home, yes. So now going over to my surefire pick, we're going to get our first win here. By the way, I almost wanted to bet against you on that Fresno bet, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stick with what I originally had. We have tonight at 9 o'clock. The Pauley Pavilion is going to be rocking as California goes to UCLA to take on the Bruins. The spread is set at 16. We're going to stay away from that. I think that the Bruins can kill them, but California they are also pretty good against the spread. They have one of the higher percentages between that 65 to 70 range. We're going to go with the over 128.5. UCLA this season, they're 7-1 at home. They average 86 points per game at home. They met with Cal earlier in the season where it was 60 to 52, but UCLA hadn't played a Pac-12 road game in a month due to that COVID break. So I'm going to take that UCLA versus Cal over 128.5. That is a steal, and it is an absolute lock. That I will actually bet my life savings on. It's going to happen.
He's going 0 for 3.
0 for 3, though?
No over. No more over. It is from here on out, I am finishing like I finished last season, which was perfect.
Well, if you want to make some money, bet your money on the people who actually have wins this
all
so
right,
far
all
this
right.
season.
Hey, we don't listen. We can bring up. I'll make a graphic next week for last season's surefire bets with the record and this season, which will include my 1 win. But that is all the time that we have for today's episode. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next week.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated chance, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it fast, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.